Alright guys, what is up? I want to go over the EX01 right now and talk about some of the trigger stuff. Okay, and then I want to also, let me find the messages. He shared with me, okay, he shared with me a pre-build. If anyone knows who bought it, let me know, please. I'm a little curious to see if that one even runs, or if maybe, I think what they did is they used an Armor's Work high kappa and built it just using that and then leftover parts. Okay, I know he shared it somewhere. There we go. Okay, if anyone knows who bought this, please let me know. Does this work without problems? How does the trigger feel, and how's everything in here? Okay, they don't really tell you much. Okay, it's 510 based on TM high kappa system. Doesn't tell you if that's TM high kappa or not. So it leads me to believe that they probably, because it comes with an Armor's Work. So my guess is they bought the 5KU, the grip, the blowback unit, the thumb safety, Rhino nozzle, the unicorn. They bought all that stuff, right? And then they just used it on top of a base of like maybe an Armor's Work that comes with the 40 round. So I'll probably go research and see if I can find that. But if anyone knows who bought it, or whatever, please let me know if the trigger works fine, if it feels mushy, or you know what I mean. I just want to know how this works, because I'm not gonna lie, after looking at stuff and doing a deeper dive, as you should do for any trigger work. Okay, look, there's a reason why trigger work is for most part they're expensive. Okay, because what you start doing is you start breaking down every little piece and you start analyzing, you try to see what you can do to fix it. And I want to talk about this part. Okay, so you guys see this right here? Now, usually on most of the frames I work, we don't have this issue. So unfortunately, the hole that 5KU cut out is a little too big. Okay, now what that does, and how, and I'll try to give you guys a little tips in here and there about trigger tuning and stuff, but this is, if anything, this video will obviously describe it and talk about it. Just remember, I'm not responsible for any damage you guys do. Go watch a video. There's got to be a million other people who are better than me. There's forums. Just go search that. I'm just talking to you about the experiences that I have with the EX01, and this is where we are at the stage of where we're nitpicking it. Okay, you saw before I provided a proof of concept that was not with parts that I enjoy. Okay, that was just, man, we were just running. Okay, hey, does it work? It works. And that leads me to believe that the one from JK Army, I feel like they just put a couple parts and they used a base gun, and then they just they either got lucky with it and it just works. Fine tuning this thing, trying to get it to work exactly how you want it to work, you need to do some work, especially with the issue of this. Okay, now first thing you want to establish is you want to make sure the sear, I've worked on some frames where this is tight to the sear. Okay, you can put it on here and you can't even, if you can't do this, then you got some work to do. Okay, and it needs to be able to be without friction, or so tight that you can't even do this. Okay, so watch. So it's just a process elimination. We know we put this in here. Okay, we know now, because it's a little I just this is like nitpicking at this point, but you can see it moves. Right now, let me introduce the spring. Okay, and we're going to do just a spring without any tension. Okay, so we've got spring in there, right? This is, guys, literally just process of elimination. And then once you get skilled enough, you can start picking it up and, you know, reduce the time you spend on it. But this is just, you know, what it is, okay? So we know, hey, okay, we're moving here. I can move it freely. No, we're okay. Now, obviously, you know, the next thing I'll talk about after we take it apart is you want to look for any signs of wear and tear. Let me take the sear off. Okay, now we're going to put the valve knocker in, which puts pressure on that spring. Okay. Okay. Okay, make sure it's in there. You can tell it's in here. Now, let's put that sear in. And you're going to notice right off the bat, oh shit. Okay, let me try to get it in for you guys. Okay, I got it all the way in. Valve knocker's all the way in, okay? Now, look at it. Now, for most people, honestly, most people would be like, hey, you know, this is enough, it works. Okay? And the reality is look, it does work. I showed you guys it works. Okay? But, for me, and any trigger work, this is not acceptable. That is more pressure that you need from your leech spring. And I don't know how to explain it, but it gives this feeling, you can feel it when you shoot the trigger, okay? It's not going to be a something like this. You can hear it, okay? It's just, it releases immediately. You're good to know. You don't get this creepy, weird creeping mechanism. And then next thing I want you guys to show is take a look at this. You might not be able to see it, but that spring is hitting. So you need to. This is where I'm talking about trigger work. This is where you want to make sure this is nice and fluid. You don't want to make things super loose, but you want to make them point to the point where there's not much resistance here. And there's resistance here. Okay, I can feel it. You guys, hopefully you can visually see it, and you can see that the spring is just hitting out. It is out ever so gently. So you're going to sand that little spring. Okay, they give you 2 springs that it comes with. One is just an extra replacement. But now here's the next thing I want to show you guys. And I think I talked about it in the other video. Okay. What you can do is, if you're a little scared to do like spot, you know, sanding or like, you know, modding, what you can do is you can try to introduce, you know, you can try putting like some lubricant in here or anything. Okay, your goal is to see where it's hitting, and you could see we have marks here. Look at this. Okay, well, that's the dirtiest part from here, but you see, that is all from the sear. Okay. Now, it's a dilemma. Okay. Could you take a Dremel to this area and then try to smooth it out just ever so slightly? You could. The pressure that this gets from the spring is causing it to tilt. Okay. It's causing it to tilt forward. Now, this wouldn't be an issue if 5KU had this hole down to, you know, the exact amount. And honestly, guys, I've had Guns N' Bro frames. Most of them are usually perfect around this area, but I've had some that are just not perfect. Okay, I've lost count of how many advanced frames I've built over the years, but trust me, I've had my fair run of like not perfect ones. So sometimes it's an issue, sometimes it's not. It's just a luck of a draw, I honestly think. If 5K is watching, hey, yeah, make sure you get this part tight as possible. It'd be nice. Or I don't know if you would move it back. I'd probably just say just get it nice and tight. Make sure the bits are clean, the bits are healthy. Size it down a little bit. I don't know. That's Okay, so that's really an issue. We still have issues with you can see I'm testing out a little piece of plastic. I'm testing it out. I'm legit testing it out right now, and I'm going to probably do some polishing work on here. I think I'm going to. I haven't figured out what I want to do. It's a hard issue. Is you know, what do you modify? Do you modify this area where you can see the obvious marks? We know this is, judging by the weight, I actually feel like his cedar, I think it's actually 70-75, so I think they actually increased. I don't think this is 60-61. The slide feels like 60-61. The frame feels like 70-75. But I don't, the problem is I don't know. I wish 5K would let us know, because they're using 70-75. That's insane, especially for the price. So guys, remember, we're nitpicking at this point. Can you get this up and running and functional? But if you're having issues with your trigger area and you're kind of like just doing a drop in and you're having issues, then maybe this is where you need to look. You need to look here. And if you're running an aluminum grip, you might need to look here too. Okay, you might have a distance problem. Okay, it's just not pushing the sear and the disconnect just as much as possible. Okay, and the trigger bow, you can see actually it's hitting the edge, and man, sometimes you'll get that weird thing. So when you guys are doing trigger work, make sure you test. You can test, you know, frame on, whole assembly, frame upper, and then test your mag in there as well. If you want to just cut to the chase, build it up, put the mag in, don't have your safeties on, okay? So you can visually see what's going on. So have it like this, but you need to put the mag in and you need to shoot it, okay? And you'll play around with it. Make sure you have the magazine release in. I see this too many times. People are testing without their magazine release, and they like, oh, it works, and they put in their magazine release, and it's like, oh shit, because that magazine release stops there early, okay? And if you're running an adjustment screw on the trigger, make sure it's all the way forward until you know you got this working the way it needs to work, okay? So right now I'm stuck on, it's a big question I have to do. There's not much material here, right? So, and this is probably freaking stainless steel, honestly. Sanding this would be an absolute pain in the ass, and I probably need to. So for real steel, guys, we have a sear tool. They're usually called like jigs and stuff. And then what you do is you can lock them in, but they're actually for modifying this part right here. Usually not this part, but this part is what's hitting. It's hitting here because of the spring issue. So I've got an interesting thing to figure out. How do I reduce the friction here without ruining it? You know, you can see there's space here, but as soon as that spring is introduced, we got that friction here that we don't want. Okay, it's enough that I have to push my finger and it'll stay in this position. I don't want that. Okay, I want this to move freely without restriction here. So I don't know. It's a tough one. I'm leaning toward modifying this here. The question is, can I buy extra sears? That's one thing I'd like to know. And the reality is, it's gonna be judging from the marks here. Well, actually, let's put it on here. It's really the whole thing. The funny thing is, you see how there's a fine line right here? So that means it's really the edge here. and then it's really this area. Okay, you guys see? So like, that's something you guys can do. Just take a Sharpie and mark it. And then take a look at it again, okay? Like, look at it. Okay, so we know we got that line right there, and then we know we have a line that's cutting all the way straight down the edge, okay? And we kind of have it right. So if it goes here, we kind of have a line that's going like right here. Okay. So realistically, I think I'm going to modify this. You can see the cut right here. Okay, before I Sharpied it, you can see the cut here wasn't exactly the smoothest, and it almost looks like it didn't finish cutting. There's a ridge right here. You can feel it with the Sharpie pen. I can feel the ridge right here. So that ridge, we need to eliminate that ridge here. At this point, it's probably going to have to be done by hand or trowel. Oh man, this project took a lot more than I expected. So for anyone that is doing the EX01, I think as a project that you want to build yourself, can you build this the way you want? Yes. Will you need to do some work? Yes. I don't know if this is luck of the draw, or because this is the one and only kit we have. Okay, I'm going to be buying one myself. I'm not in any rush because I check the websites every single day. I'm checking websites every single day, and you know, I still see it in stock everywhere. So my guess is maybe people aren't buying it, and I'm cool with that. But honestly, guys, this is such a beautiful set. Okay, and we're gonna have a video on this, but I'm really trying to solve this. I'm ecstatic about this inner barrel. I've been testing it, shooting it, and I'm so excited. A custom inner barrel from Da Vinci. Look how beautiful this looks. Matches. I think this was the right choice, and he was okay with waiting for it. I really want to get this done within the next week. Okay, because I have a lot of projects coming on, and I kind of want to get all my customers done right now. We're still waiting for R. We need parts for R. This is J. The other two are fine. Those are just Glocks. Yeah. Okay. So, my only advice to all of you guys, and I know people always ask about trigger stuff, is you want to get it to run smooth. Smooth is king. Okay. Try to get as minimal friction as you can. Okay, get lightweight leaf springs. The only two in the market are realistically it's going to be Clarence Lie, which is a CL project, and Cal. Okay, those are the very few. And Cal is by far the most used one I use now. Okay, so get yourself this. If you are like scared of doing all this stuff, just get the leaf spring. I promise you it will make a huge difference. You do need to adjust these after a while. Okay, they're thinner and a little bit lighter than the standard ones. Okay, so that's if you want a light trigger pull, just get this. You don't need to do anything else. For those going above and beyond, you always get the holy grail. For me, I say is the leaf spring, the adjustable trigger bow, which is the Airsoft Masterpiece steel trigger bar. Okay, it's my favorite one. Well, not the favorite. Titanium, the Nova Titanium one is my favorite. You can't get them. You know, I really want to make it on my own one day. All right, and then you get an adjustable trigger. Get the right trigger for your fingers. Okay, just do measurements from here to there. Okay, there's some measurements you can measure from here to here. If you got big hands like me, you're going to definitely be a large. If you got like average size, you're going to be a medium. And then if you got smaller hands, you're going to be a small. Okay, get the nice right trigger for you. Make sure it's adjustable, and you can adjust it. With that, you can adjust the over travel and the pre travel. Okay, that's the so you see right here, over travel, pre travel. I think that's right, guys. My brain isn't working. And then leaf spring, and then having a full steel kit increases your durability, and then you can smooth them out. Some of them are already smooth to touch. Okay, there's no burrs on this. You can feel it with your hands. You want this to go in here and you want it to like just be like butter, okay? If you feel any sort of friction in here and it's just like it's a nasty feeling, get to work on that, okay? And then once you get everything nice and smooth, that I promise you, you will feel the difference, okay? Once you get everything nice and smooth, then make sure you got, you know, good grease and lube it up, okay? Throw that shit in there, right? I don't think there's a problem with over greasing or lubing, right? The only thing is, yes, if you're playing outdoors, then probably be careful. I wouldn't do it too much because it'll attract dirt. But you know, nonetheless, you need to clean your gun anyways, okay? I will update you guys next. I think my goal is, after sharpening this, I'm going to try to smooth this out by, I'm going to take a chance to Dremel, and I'm going to see if I can find sears by 5KU just in case. For example, look at this, guys. You guys can tell that it needs a little TLC, okay? Right here. So I'm going to smooth out some areas, get rid of the burrs. It still needs a little bit more. Okay, some of it got cleaned up, and I got missed some spots right here. But that's okay. Now, this is the goal. Okay, get this resolved. If you might be lucky. Okay, that's why I said it's different for everybody. You might be lucky, and yours might be perfectly. It won't be loose like this. Okay, if you got a non-loose one, shit, I wish I was you. All right. I will see you guys later, okay? Take it easy, and remember, nice and slow. Don't remove. You want to do, it takes time. That's why it's expensive. It takes time. Remove a little, put it on. Remove a little, put it on. Remove a little, put it on. You have to do it nice and slow. Polishing, guys, is removing material, so take your time with it, okay? Okay, remember, I'm not responsible for anything. That is as far as I'll go. You guys go search somebody else. I'm pretty sure someone else has done it. There's got to be so many more people that will just destroy my ass, okay, on this kind of stuff, okay? I've been gone for 5 years. I'll take it easy, guys.